right, everyone, welcome to the Indie Basketball Podcast. This is where indie rock meets the NBA's finest, and today we're going one-on-one, having a conversation with Joe Plummer. And you may know him from such bands as Cold War Kids, The Shins, Modest Mouse, but not just a musician. He runs Ruinous Media, which is a podcast company. Joe, thank you for being here.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. It's definitely an honor to have you here. I know we talked before that you may not be the biggest basketball fan these days, but you used to be, at least, right?
Yeah, and it's not that I'm not a fan. I just haven't paid attention I haven't been watching and for years now. I blame it partly on my band, Mr. Heavenly, not touring enough because Nick and Ryan are basketball freaks.
Awesome.
Like real basketball freaks. They even have some subtle NBA hints in our lyrics.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
In talking to people, it's cool that you have several people, because usually it's like there's like one person in the band who's like, I'm the NBA guy.
Yeah, that's how it was in Modest Mouse for sure.
Yeah. Were you the only one, or was someone else?
I was the only one. For a little bit, I think Dan Gallucci, when we were in the band together. I think the entire history of me being in Modest Mouse, I was the only one except for Dan Gallucci for a little bit.
Yeah. Dang. I can't imagine Isaac being a big NBA fan.
No. Yeah, he's not. I think I played some hoops with him a little bit when there was a court somewhere. But speaking of that, this has all brought me back to something. Check this out.
Ooh, love it. That's a good jersey.
Modest Mouse played at what was called Key Arena.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years ago, 12. And speaking of no fans in the game, no basketball fans on the in Modest Mouse. Someone like manager of the place comes up to us and is like, "You guys want to go and check out the locker rooms?" And I was like, it was just silence, and I was like, "Fuck yes."
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'll go solo.
And then I was like, Then I was just, we went down there, and then I asked for a jersey. The mascot did come on stage with us that night, though.
Very nice. Yeah, I've been told that Seattle sorely misses basketball.
Yeah, and we're sore at Mr. Starbucks there for that mistake. I think
I understand it.
Yeah. He's admitted it was a major mistake, at least.
Yeah. It's not that Oklahoma City doesn't like having a team, but it's just Seattle really loved having a team.
Oh my God. It was so crazy. It didn't even seem real when Seattle didn't have a team. It was kind of unbelievable.
That's
and you know what else pisses me off is that Seattleite Microsoft dude owns the Clippers, and I wanted the Clippers to come up here because that's my other team.
Yeah. Well, there has to be a way that someday they get a team again.
I know, it's all hockey now. New hockey team.
Yeah, people love the Kraken, man.
I know. It's even Shaq.
Yeah, it's true.
Shaq was just doing some everything. Promo. Yeah, that's right.
Shaq endorses literally everything.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, let's start off talking a little bit music. So as far as projects you're currently working on, what do you have going
on? Cold War Kids just got off the 8-week tour, first tour back. Mm-hmm. Mostly opening for Kings of Leon. It went pretty good. We had a couple hiccups there with some positive tests.
Yeah.
In the it's a huge crew of people. Our crew is not big, but they have it's a big production. So there was a positive test, so we canceled some shows for safety and had to cancel a couple more. But we did about 90% of the tour, 95% of the shows, and coming first time back, felt pretty good about it. It was long. That was weird how long it was. We never tour for 8 weeks in a row, but we were hungry.
I'm sure also you just kind of want to get it all out at once, and just in case,
Yeah.
For sure.
I just did that, and we had a record come out. It's volume 3 of New Age Norms that came out 2 weeks ago. think it was the last Friday that we were on tour.
Cool.
And talking about a new Mr. Heavenly record soon. And
Nice.
I'm going to start doing a covers record with a selected group of people. I was just in San Diego with some of the Blackheart dudes, and I want to do a cover with Paul and Jimmy. And
awesome.
Yeah, and I got a couple recorded with a Shins guy and a Foo Fighter. So it's going to be like an all-star covers record. It's going to take a while to get together, but I'm starting to feel it. So
sure. When you do like collaborations like that, do you are you doing this mostly online, or are you like flying out and kind of like meeting up?
I prefer to meet up. I mean, I prefer to travel.
For sure.
I like traveling, but the last one we did, me, Nate, and the last one we did was all remote.
Sure.
Yeah,
I get it, especially with the past year, 2 years.
Yeah, and I don't mix. I kind of mix it, and then it really gets mixed by someone else. So I just record the drums and then do a rough mix of what they record.
Gotcha.
But hopefully in the future, I'll probably always do the drums at home so they can do the scratch stuff, and I can redo the drums if they want.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Speaking of like recording stuff, you also do Ruinous Media, which is podcasting. And how did you kind of get into that realm?
Well, I mean, before the pandemic, I did start Tour Stories. That was 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 now. And I was on a little break, right, and about to start it up. I was getting home from tour, and then the pandemic hit, and so I kind of kicked it into gear with collecting some stories, and then I quickly realized I needed to be a little more current. It wasn't that people didn't have tour stories anymore, but I kind of parlayed it into something I call the check-in, and I was just talking to artists and writers about what they are doing now.
Sure.
And of course, the BLM movement was heavily discussed. So that's what happened with that, and we picked up a few other podcasts for our quote unquote label, and we do some stuff that pays the bills too. We may or may not do some corporate podcasts.
I get it, man. I get it. I mean, my day job is in advertising, so I get it.
Yeah. Speaking of, we might need you.
Man, I'm available.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, so all the podcasts under Ruinous, are they music related? Are there any that are
slightly? Yeah, we have one is called Doctor and the DJ, and that's John Richards and his wife Amy. She's a doctor. He's he's the head of programming and DJ at KXP for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
A new one we have called Emergency Room, the COVID Diaries, is Guy Madison from Mudhoney and his friend Matthew Hall. And Guy is not just the bass player of Mudhoney and former bass player of Lubricated Goat. He has also been a nurse for 25 years in a Trauma One care center here. That's like, for people who don't know, that's the inner city take anyone hospital. That's Grey's Anatomy hospital.
Right.
Anyways, as soon as COVID hit, he was suddenly in charge of COVID intake and management, and he journaled the whole thing. And we're on episode 3, and it's like really interesting. It's coming along. Another one is called Design Freaks. It's our friend Clarita, and she is a designer and teaches design, and also her show is primarily about record covers and record art. And we have Tomorrow We Die. That's a tour story situation, and a couple more slipping my mind. But yeah, they're all like slightly rock and roll related, but they all always have a foot in a different world.
Yeah, and I mean, especially with me doing indie basketball, like it's cool that they're all tied to music in one way or another, whether it's like, it's music, and then it's graphic design, and then it's
Yeah.
music. And with the emergency room one, when I was looking it up, I didn't realize that like until later that guy from Mudhoney is
Yeah.
associated with it. So okay. But yeah, it's super cool to have those kind of sectors, how they all tie together.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing a fake one where Eddie Vedder is like a veterinarian or something. Vetter.
Oh, I like that. I like a pun, so
Yeah. So, anyways, maybe that'll come, and it'll be
amazing.
It'll be a deep fake podcast.
That will be. I feel like that will be a thing someday. Some
I know.
deep fake voices. It's just like we're not far off.
Yeah.
So in terms of music, is there anything you're listening to from this year that you're really enjoying?
Let's see. There's an Annika. I've been listening to this new record by Annika.
Okay.
I think she lives in Mexico City, but she's a German artist. Kind of this like, it's kind of like PIL, droney PIL can stuff.
Nice.
What I've been listening to mostly is, I may butcher the name here. It's I want to say it right. What I've been listening to mostly is Madhu Mokhtar. Have you
I've
heard
not
this person? He's from Nigeria, I think, and he's a nomadic Tuareg, I believe the term is, and he's of a nomadic people, but there's this culture there. I don't know where it ultimately came from. Bambino is from there too. Okay. And it's like droney guitar rock, but it's just the best. It's typically awesome. To a rolling African rhythm. That and Beak. I'm always listening to Beak. I like the new single, which is called "Oh No." It's funny, and yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, I think this guy Stephen Bombadil, who was recently on my show, he told me how to pronounce his name, and it's not like that. But I was surprised to have him answer with, "I don't know how you pronounce my name. Maybe it's so." I think I'm off the hook with pronunciations.
As someone with a long name, I totally understand that.
Yeah, but yeah, he's got a new single, "You Were Wrong," and I can't stop listening to that number either. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as hoops, I know you said you haven't kept up lately. When do you think was the last time you were really paying attention?
Like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 10 or 8 years.
Like Kevin Durant getting drafted, or not even?
Yeah.
Then?
Yeah. Okay. I'd say that. Yeah. That's safe.
For sure.
Yeah.
But what about, Sonics are your team?
Sonics were my team, and then I lived in Portland for a while, and Blazers were my team.
Blazers are great.
Yeah. That was fun. That was 2002 to about 2009.
Yeah, they have a really good fan base. And I've had Eric from Portugal the Man on, and they're all diehard Blazers fans.
Yeah. My good friend Janet Weiss, we would go to a lot. Well, not a lot of games. We'd go to as many games as we could while we were down there. She's crazy about basketball.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then before that, I was Blazers, Clippers, and the Sonics are really my teams. I did live in LA 2000 to 2001, almost 2. And Clippers were awful then. But that was when Darius Smiles played.
Yeah.
And a couple other players I can't remember.
Corey Maggette.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
But we used to go, my friend had season tickets, and it would only be half full, so you would automatically get dropped. Like your seat would be 50% closer. And I loved going to those games. It was so good. And I really got into Darius actually that year. I just thought it was cool. Kept getting busted for weed.
Yeah, and he was also around that time he was in the movie The Perfect Score.
Oh yeah.
Which you know you love a breakout acting role for an NBA player.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking
what else?
of
I think
Ray
he
Allen.
actually, yeah, oh yeah, that movie's great.
Yeah.
Also, I think Darius Miles, he's a podcaster as well. He has
Oh.
I'm trying to remember. There's a couple like former NBA players that have podcasts. I'm trying not to mix it up because I think All the Smoke is Quentin Richardson and Darius Miles have one together.
Oh man.
Yeah,
That
I
sounds
forget
cool.
what the name is, but yeah, they because they played together on the Clippers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they have one together, and there's a lot of cool like former NBA player podcasters who they're just goofy and they just riff on NBA all the time.
I'm surprised Shaq doesn't have one.
I know, but he's busy with the NBA on TNT every day, every week.
That's true.
Do you still go to games at all? When's the last time you maybe went to a game?
I'd say the last game I think I went to a Blazers game about 6 years ago.
Sure.
Yeah. I always try to go on tour and it never works out.
Yeah. What about so you grew up kind of a Sonics fan. What do you have any like early memories of being a Sonics fan?
Well, I mean, it just happened overnight. I started playing basketball when I was 19. I was my freshman
bloomer,
year in college, and I've always skateboarded and was kind of athletic, but then I just started playing hoops, and I've been playing ever since. I stopped for 3 years, but I just started again 2 weeks ago with the keyboardist of Kohler Kids.
Nice.
Played my first game in 3 years. It was so fun. But so I started playing, and I don't think I necessarily watched sports. Maybe I'm learning this about myself. I played for a few years, but around 93, I was visiting my parents, and the Sonics were on, and I literally felt like I was glued to the Sonics from then, until they left. Right. And that was Peyton, Detlef, Big Smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Who else did we have back?
They're a very captivating team.
Oh, they were great.
Especially, I mean, I'm a Bulls fan, so they had their head-to-head.
I know. I think that had a lot to do with it. And I did watch the Bulls / Jordan doc,
right?
And was reminded of that tearful. But I mean, God, it was so exciting, that era of the Sonics. And then when Ray Allen came in, it was great. And Sean Kemp, the man boy, I think we call him, man-child.
Man-child, yeah.
Yeah.
Ray, and you said Ray Allen, he had his stint there. Honestly, I feel like if you're talking periods of the Sonics, it's like you get like the big great one against the Bulls. You have the Kemp and Peyton, and then until they didn't exist, and then you get Ray Allen, and then Kevin Durant was drafted by the Sonics, and then they were gone.
I know.
I think actually technically Russell Westbrook was also drafted, but they changed the year he was drafted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God, that seems vaguely familiar. Maybe I do remember some stuff about basketball. Yeah.
For sure. Is there, and with the way indie basketball is, there's that sort of niche where I find that the people who there's the music fan and the musician, and there's basketball fans, and when they come together, it's just like people nerd out so hard. It's just like there is that subgroup of people. Is there any way, and this is probably a tough question, but is there any way that you can think of that basketball and music has kind of overlapped in your life?
Well, aside from the camaraderie the glue that was Mr. Heavenly,
for sure,
at times was us talking and watching basketball, and we'd be on tour together or in the studio recording. And we did play together a few times. Ryan apparently still has his injury from that day. But that's where it's crossed over in my life. You know, again, not too many bands not too many bands that I played in had basketball fans.
Yeah, but that's what I'm finding is like I said, it's like there's like one person, and then when they tour with other bands, they meet up and they're like, "Are you the guy who likes basketball? Let's talk."
Yeah, you know, I played with Steve Malkmus for a couple years, and that was when I was living in Portland also, and I got to know him because I played basketball with him a couple weeks before that.
How's his shot?
Oh, he's great. He's fucking good at everything.
It's annoying.
Yeah, he's great. But that's, it's kind of been weeding out the one fan, as you know, that's how it's kind of overlapped in my life.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, I always wanted to play that game up in Canada with the rockers, like Arcade Fire people would play. It was a big benefit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think Julian Casablancas played in it. And,
and I met a woman and I met a woman who organized it years ago. I think she was a promoter. And
you got to get in there, man.
She asked if me and Malkmus wanted to do it, and I was like, absolutely. But I don't know if I never got the call. I don't think Steve ever played either.
And then, you know, when Butler's like, I'm just going to do the actual NBA All-Star game.
I know.
Oh man, he won MVP that year too.
I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he's good at ping pong too. I've watched him play ping pong.
Oh wow, that doesn't surprise me. You know, he wears the headband with the long hair. Like he's got the look for ping pong.
Yeah.
Amazing. So I emailed you a list. Like, we kind of play a game here. We call it musician matchups. And since you're a Sonics fan, I got a list of players. We want to determine what they sound like as a player, whether that's play style, whether that's just like a personal memory you have, whatever.
Okay.
And we'll go back and forth. We'll compare our answers, and just the justification of why you pick it is what makes it fun.
All right, great. Sounds fun.
We'll start off with Detlef Schrempf.
Detlef, who I met before. Can I make a real quick rock and roll connection
please.
with this? While my good, let me start again. My good friend William Goldsmith from Sunny Day Real Estate and the Foo Fighters, as when he was in the Foo Fighters and I needed a job, he got me a job at his parents' civil engineering firm. One day, Detlef Schrempf, who was an investor in some piece of property, came into the office, and I had to take him down the street to lunch and stuff. It was insane. This was probably 1994. But it was just like the door opened. It was like, oh, Detlef Schrempf. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Still playing. Anyways, I can get back to this answer. And I did meet him. And it's not just because he's German, which he's German, right? Yeah.
That's okay if you go that route.
He's a little icy. He's a little icy and a little calculated. But he's like, I don't know, there's something crispy about him. And that's Beak to me. That band Beak. He is the Beak.
It's amazing. I see that for sure.
Yeah.
I went with the low hanging fruit here, and just because it's the first one, I wanted to do like the softball. I went Band of Horses.
Oh,
because they have a song called Detlef Schrempf.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, it just feels like I needed to do it. Like if he's on the table, I have to call that one out.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Can.
Also, yes. Also, would be a good pick.
No, I think Band of Horses is way better.
All right, so the second player, the more recent player, Ray Allen.
Ray Allen is like Phoenix. He's a beautiful guy. They're beautiful people. Their music is beautiful poppy stuff, but I've seen Phoenix and Ray Allen unleash improvisational skills
Ooh,
that I was never expecting.
I love
And
that.
yeah, I mean, I can remember Ray playing. Never mind, take that back. I just remember a couple games where I was like, "What the heck is he doing?" And the same thing with Phoenix, where they stepped out and get all weird, and I never expected them to do that.
That's amazing. Love that. So for Ray Allen, for me, you know, he was in the league for a long time. Um, he's just consistently good. His shot, it's quick. He's like got an automatic shot, say automatic for the people.
Oh, nice.
He is REM to me.
Yeah.
It just, a long-standing player. He's been around. He's been consistent over the years.
Yeah,
Just
that's
all
great.
reliable.
Yes, that's killer.
Oh yeah. So moving on, the third one, Gary the Glove, Gary Payton.
Oh, the glove. Okay,
You can really definitely go like a personality route with this one.
I'm gonna go instead of the glove. I'm gonna go with Gary the mouth.
Ooh, yes.
Because at the free throw line, his mouth never stopped moving during the game because he chewed gum, but he also at the free throw line. Not when he was at the free throw line, when someone else was. He was constantly talking shit to people. I forget who said, it was someone like Shaq or something. They were friends, but it still doesn't matter. Someone like someone famously said, I never get. Oh, okay. Someone famously said, when I come to play against Gary Payton, I bring my checkbook for all the fines I have to pay. I need to look up and see who that is. Someone who's mild mannered, right? And he just gets under the skin. So the glove, aka the mouth, I say. There's a band that I love called Parquet Courts, and Parquet Courts at times is vocals and Barky, wonderful, but Barky constant vocals through the whole song that I imagine it sounds like being on the court with Peyton just in your ear.
Totally. That makes sense. I definitely went a similar route.
Yeah.
Definitely based on kind of, he's in your face. He's aggressive. Yeah. He definitely won't back down. There's a newer band. I don't know if you listen to them. They're called Turnstile.
Oh yeah.
They're very just like aggressive. They're in your face and just very like intense and just, but also like they're good and they're a fun time. So it's like it's just kind of all that together.
Yeah.
Turnstile's great. They're a lot of fun, and I want to see them live, but I've seen videos of their live shows and it just seems insane.
It does. What are they destroying everything? Are they?
Yeah, they're very throwing it back to like, the 80s kind of punk rock, and the 80s 90s punk rock, and they're just their bass player is amazing. His name's Franz, and he's just like, spinning around on stage. It's awesome. So the last one we have, you can't talk about Sonics without mentioning Sean Kemp.
No way. The man child. My memory, my vision of him in my head is always him screaming.
Oh yeah.
He's aggressive. He's a big dude. He was aggressive. I don't know if his personality was in your face, but man, I did see him somewhere like at a mall or something in Seattle, and I just remember going like, "Oh my god, he's like a scary dude."
Yeah.
But I like scary dudes, and I like aggressive rock and roll music, like Mets.
Ooh,
he's the Mets. He's like the bass line of Mets.
That's kind of like my Turnstile pick. I feel like that's like a similar vibe for sure. Yeah, Mets is solid. He's definitely he's a powerhouse, for sure. I think for me, I definitely have similar traits. Like I said, I wrote down he's a powerhouse, a force to be reckoned with, but he's also, he's a persona. and he is kind of iconic in that sense. So I went with St. Vincent.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
like Sean Kemp is the St. Vincent of that era, man. Like,
all right,
such an icon.
Yeah, I like that. I just watched the St. Vincent video about 20 minutes ago.
She's awesome, man. There's no one like her.
Well, she just got better because Mark Giuliano is playing drums. He's my favorite drummer. He's a badass.
Yes. gotta throw the shout outs up there.
That's good. I like that. That makes sense.
Just like, I love like how she's she does all this collab, like her thing with David Byrne was insane. And yeah, she's just forced to be reckoned with. That's what I'm going with.
I think that Sean Kemp collaborated in another way a lot. I think that he has a lot of children.
He sure does.
No judgment. I just know that he has a lot of kids, and that's a collaboration.
It's this may be like a terrible thing to say, but I think I remember hearing a joke one time that Sean Kemp almost averaged a triple double. It was like so whatever points, whatever assists, and 9 kids.
Oh my god!
Which is, I get it.
Yeah.
He's even he Sean Kemp Jr. He went after his namesake. I think he has multiple kids named Sean Kemp.
Oh, good. Like the boxer whose name I forget. Yeah.
So that's our little musician matchup.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to do, especially with people's hometown teams. So as far as basketball, is you gonna get back into it anytime soon?
I am. Like I said, watching. Sorry, I just immediately go to playing, but I think I will. I think once I start playing again, and then I'll fantasize about working on my game and my Euro step. See, I'm not that far out.
Gotta watch the tape.
I'm gonna watch the tape. Matt Schwartz from Cold War Kids is gonna teach me his powerful Euro step that he was blowing minds the other day. So in order for me to get better at playing, I got to start watching the tapes, if you will.
Is there a since obviously, sadly, the Sonics are not playing, is there a team you would follow now?
I think I want to follow the Clippers.
I mean, they've been up there the past few years. They're definitely an interesting team. Kawhi is quite a personality.
Yeah, I hate the Lakers.
Fair.
And I have since I was a child because they were my mom's favorite team. My parents are from LA. And it was just a funny rivalry we had. But then there was several reasons why I didn't like the Lakers over the years, except for Shaq, who I think must be the most cuddly, wonderful, funny person on the planet. But they've had some good things happen. But I just haven't. There's been every time I turn around, or when I was really watching or paying attention to the NBA, every time I turned around, there was a reason for me to not like the Lakers. Yeah. One of them was being mad at Los Angeles itself for having two stupid teams. Not two stupid teams, stupidly two teams.
Yeah. Right.
And then, like I said, when I was there, half an arena full because everyone likes the Lakers and doesn't care about the Clippers. That turned me into a Clippers fan, little underdog. But it also, I got to sit close. Yeah. Fun. And I want the Clippers to come to Seattle. There's a lot of I'm pointing towards Clippers.
I want to believe it's possible. I feel like their best chance though is maybe an expansion team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is weird that Ballmer owns the Clippers. Like,
it's so weird.
Maybe that's his long-term play. Who knows?
I know. It's just, yeah.
So your reason for not liking the Lakers right now, how you feel about LeBron?
Well, I like LeBron.
I do too, personally.
People
are very divided on him, but yeah, I think he's a good dude.
I've always loved LeBron. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'm ever gonna like the Lakers, and it's childish. There's for childish reasons. Sometimes some deep.
There's many people like that. So I don't think you have any reason to worry about that. There's a lot of people who, it's like not liking the Yankees.
That's right.
I
exactly.
Get it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I blame my mom. And there's also Penny Marshall was another reason to like the Clippers. Every game she went to, I guess.
Yeah, and the Lakers have Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
I think everyone likes it. It's too easy to like go to the Lakers. Like you got to have like something like a little underdog to root for,
Yeah.
All right. So as far as you have any? I know you've wrapped up some dates with Cold War Kids. Do you have any other dates coming up?
We just have a few radio shows throughout the rest of the year, I think, and then not sure where or exactly when, but as soon as we can in 22, we're gonna finish supporting New Age Norms 3, and because we kind of were playing some of the songs, but now we want to play all of them, and so we're gonna hit the road early 2022. We always tour, so as long as it's fairly safe, we like to go out. So yeah.
Awesome. And as far as recordings, you're hoping to record some new stuff soon?
Yeah, I'm gonna try working on this covers record, and Mr. Heavenly, it's time. I can feel it. I feel like I'll be in LA with Nick and Ryan sometime in February.
I think that's you're going to be your opportunity to get some games in too.
Yeah, and I can play with Nick. Nick also plays in the league with Matt from Cold War Kids, so
nice.
It's fun. Nick sadly wasn't there because he was on tour with Islands. So, gotcha. Yeah, I think that's what I got planned. I also have to say I have a new sport that I play, but I am going to start playing basketball as well. I'm crazy about pickleball.
Ooh.
And I brought pickleball net on this tour because we were in big parking lots all the time, and I just set up a court every day.
All right. I did not expect that, to be honest.
And I tried to get the band, though we played it, but I tried to get everyone really into it like I'm into it. There's a court directly in front of my house, and if I carried my computer out, you'd see my neighbors playing and waiting for me.
Well, get out there, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I really appreciate you joining the podcast. It's fun to talk basketball a little bit, and best of luck with the shows and whatnot.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a super fun podcast. I apologize. I'm not I can't talk current NBA, but I hope you can tell it's still in my heart.
The passion is still there. I can feel it.
Yeah. Good.
All right, man. Well, thanks again for joining.
Yeah. Take it easy.
Take care.